So, um, the last video I said I would catch up, catch you guys up on what I've been dealing with for the past year or two. Um, so, as you guys know, I'm pretty open about my status. And, um, oh, by the way, if you're new here, welcome, welcome. I sometimes do a lot of light videos, but most of the time I am talking about my life, what's going on. I was going memory by memory from childbirth to my teen years. I kind of got derailed by just life. So I kind of oh my goodness. So I just talk about my life, and right now I'm gonna explain some of the health difficulties that I've been going through lately. And because I was told that some of my family, when they first found out I was positive, um, there was rumors that some of them were like happy about it. And we hear this a lot in the HIV community, like, oh, well, she must have been a hoe, or she must have been out there, or she was doing drugs, or she must have been gay, or he, because it's, you know, especially if it's a guy, like, oh, was he gay? Was he doing gay stuff? It's like, you guys have to, there's no excuse. Like, when I first got diagnosed, the computers weren't in everybody's home and all that. So I understood that some people still thought that it was like the 80s. And although I appreciate that there is medicine to help us live longer and this and that, at the same time, sometimes I feel like a rat in a cage being tested by lab, kind of like a lab monkey, a lab rat, because I feel like they just made the medicine and they keep the hi everybody, Mike, Boris, Manula, Mike again. How are you? Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Yesterday I had an appointment that kind of calmed me down, but let me explain what's going on. So 2 years ago, or actually 4 years ago, um, now for 10 years I was telling my doctor something's going on. Like, what's going on? At that time I didn't understand what it was. I was having night sweats. I didn't know that that was night sweats. I was just like, I'm waking up wet, like all over, just sweating for no reason. Um, I didn't have the mood swings yet then. I just had the night sweats, and I think that was it. Because I've always had the insomnia. After kids, I developed insomnia. I think I always had it. Before kids, I used to work two jobs or work part time and go to school and just keep myself busy. And I went out a lot. So I didn't have time to like la di da di and all that. Um, and I barely had time to date. So when I did put my focus on dating, I literally had to slow down on my going out because I was still working or going to school or both. I usually did two or three things at once to keep myself busy. I didn't want to be home. Um, when I got kicked out of my foster home, when we We were here for 2 years out of New York, and then they decided they wanted to kick me out, make room for their family, which was fine. It's fine now, but if you guys know me, you guys know I don't cried about it. I don't express myself, my anger towards the man and the foster dad and all that. I think I'm like dealing with so much personally that I'm just like, man, I wasted so much energy. And even the last video that I did about my dad, like I feel that way sometimes, and sometimes I'm like, dang, Joanna, like that's really harsh, like, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Every girl deserves to hear that they're beautiful. And that's without makeup and all that mess. I don't do the glam. Like, I feel like, okay, I'm not going to get sidetracked, but this is a side note. I feel bad for the girls that do glam every day because I'm like, that's a lot of chemicals to cake onto your face. And then you have to use a lot of chemicals to take it off. And then the glue, like your eyes are very sensitive, the eyelids. The girls are already like my aunts and people back in the day. I don't remember everybody having those black circles around their eyes. And I know we're in the different time, like, people work more now, people are more stressed, there's anxiety, there's a lot going on in the world. But and if you could tell, like, even me, I don't use makeup like that, but I still have it, but not as bad as I see in other people. It's like, whoa. Or they look like a totally different person when they take that cake off. But either way, getting back to my story. So 10 years ago, I knew something was going on. Finally, I believe 4 years ago, they decided to test my thyroid because I was like, now I was gaining weight, I was moody, I was fatigued. Like, I thought to myself, that can't be anemia only. Like, that type of tire, I've never been that type of tire. I love to swim, I love to walk, like, I couldn't do all that. And I was gaining weight, but like the weight wasn't normal. It felt like I was like a pressure cooker. Like, it just felt like tight. My skin was like pleading with me. And then I'm embarrassed to say that I gained like almost 200 pounds before the doctors decided to do any tests or anything about it. They kept telling me when I did do my research and found out, oh, I could be perimenopausal. They're like, nah, you're 35, you're 36, you're 40, you're too young. Well, come to find out, I joined some groups, found out a lot of women are asking the same questions. They're at where I was before, like, oh wow, I'm 32. That was the youngest that I saw in one of the groups. I'm like, wow, 32. Oh my God, I feel bad because I know how hard it is, and the hormones like drop, and the doctors don't do anything about it because they don't get paid for that. So you have to do all the research, and then I'm doing research. I'm taking this for that. I'm eating this, and I'm trying to do this. I'm doing bed exercises. I meet somebody that kind of motivates me to. I was already on my road to lose weight. I was already kind of going back and forth with losing and then gaining, and I was trying to kind of find the right avenue to have success. Like, what can I do to combat this? So I'm finding out the hormones, they're like they're way more stubborn than I am. So anyways, long story short, when they finally test me, they're like, oh, you have thyroid. And I'm researching. I'm like, oh my God, this can turn into thyroid cancer. Like what? They're like, no, 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 you don't have thyroid cancer, you have thyroid. So I have to Google what the difference is. Then they put me on medication for that. I lose almost 110 pounds, I think, over the next year or two. You know, my boyfriend at the time was motivating me, and I'm motivating myself. I found this app that you can do exercises in bed, and so I'm feeling good. Like, okay, I'm losing weight. I felt a lot. I'm trying to get my TV side note. I'm gonna keep saying that because I get distracted. Um, chapstick. My TV, if you leave it on and you don't choose an app, it automatically goes to like landscapes, and right now it was doing, let me do happy jazz. Ooh, happy jazz. Excuse me while I search. Oh my God, I meant to, you see, that's the brain fog. I put, I put the, you know, every TV, since it's a smart TV, it should be able, I mean, they're already listening to us. Why the heck can you just say, happy jazz? Give me the happiest jazz that you got. Uh, but no, they want to make it hard for you. Um, yeah, and if it was my little son, oh my God, he pressed that button like it's going out of business. I'm like, boy, no wonder you break stuff every 2 seconds. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. They're always, this is like elevator music. Let's see. It's a happy jazz. I think this is a positive morning. There we go. Anyways, oh, thank you for the likes. Hello, hello. So, yeah, so getting back to the story. Focus, Joanna. So 4 years ago, they test me the thyroid, blah, blah. I take the meds. It's fine. Then I'm like feeling like extra tired. Even I'm like, what's going on? Now, I did disobey the doctor. Sometimes it's hard to know if they really do have the best interests of heart, because I got off the antidepressants. If you listen to some of my old videos, last August, I was pretty down, pretty depressed. I thought it would be better for me not to be here, and I had a plan, and I had plan B, plan A, and I didn't go through this. I stayed on the medication until after my birthday in October, and then I decided, okay, I'm just gonna take extra vitamin D, like more vitamin D, go out more, get active, even if I'm tired. So I was taking like 5,000 UI, whatever that means. So when the doctors asked me, I was like, yeah, I'm taking 5,000 UI. I showed them the screenshot because I always take screenshots because I'm like, just in case they ask me what natural stuff, how I'm going about my day. But I put 2 in my coffee or in my tea in the morning. Just drop it. It's like a little gel. It just melts in. It's like a little oil. You don't think about it. So it's actually 10. So they're like, whoa, that's way too much. Like, But I thought to myself, well, doesn't your body just pee it out? Like if you, hi Gina, gaming with Samson. I hope you're not. I get nervous when I talk because I noticed there was some little kids following me. I'm like, what are you doing here? I couldn't tell their ages, but I don't know. I was like, this is not for kids. But and I put it on my notification. This is not for kids. So, but either way, so I didn't listen. They told me to do it every other day if I wanted to do the two. And they're like, why are you doing two? Why can't you just do one? I said, well, it's actually helping me. Like I noticed for the first time, I don't feel depressed after getting off the antidepressant. Like it substitute what that was doing. But I'm sure the pill that the doctors give you do more harm than good because every pill has a side effect. Every pill that the doctor gives you has a side effect. I don't know if scientists do that on purpose. So you need another pill and you need another pill and you need another pill. But they never make anything that just helps what you're going through. Like it has to be on purpose because it's like if they can create something that can help you with antidepressant, that can help you with whatever side effect, but then it gives you like 10 other side effects. Sometimes the thing that is helping, but the side effects are like way worse. Or you could die, or you could lose a leg, or it's like, whoa, 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 what? So, anyways, back to the story. So, I kept going, but once in a while I would think, like, well, maybe they're right. So, I would stop a couple of days, or I would do one every other day, or just on the weekends. And then they were like, okay, tell us the truth, because we know you. I'm sure they want to like be like, oh, Brian is so dang stubborn. Um, so I told him the truth. I said, sometimes I don't know about you guys. So I just kept doing what I was doing, how I was doing it. So they're like, okay, well, let's just test your, this level and that level in your blood work next time. I'm like, okay. So I went in, got the blood work done. Then a few days later, or the next time I went in, whoa, your calcium is way too high. I said, what does that mean? I thought calcium was good. That means my bones should feel stronger. That if, I have extra helpers. Well, no, that's not what it means. When your calcium is too high, your thyroid have glands that have different jobs than the thyroid, even though they're in the same area. They don't communicate with each other. They just do their jobs. So it was all confusing. That was last year. I've been doing a whole bunch of tests, scans, blood work, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Well, all the scans, the tests, the blood work were coming up normal, good, except for this last one. I did on the 19th, I believe, of May. After I did the scan, 2 hours later, I got to see my doctor. And she was like, oh, let me check if the results are in. I said, well, they just did it. They said it won't be in until Friday. She's like, no, sometimes the extensive tests will be done. Well, they'll keep looking, and if there's something they need to fix, they'll put it up on Friday, but sometimes it's in earlier, like 2 hours, 3 hours later. So she checked, and she's like, oh, you have parathyroid. And I'm like, okay, I can't take one more hypo, this, because first it was thyroidism. That's the first one. So I was on meds. They finally got me regulated. I was losing weight again, gaining a little energy, and boom, I get dragged down again. They do this other test, find out, oh, once you have the calcium stuff, the high calcium levels, then it was hypercalcium. So I'm like, okay, so did it switch or is it two separate things? No, it's two separate things. So I'm like, okay. And now this parathyroid, then my phone rings and it's my ride. And I'm like, oh shoot, I gotta go downstairs and rush before my ride comes. And I thought it was gonna be like the thyroid, I'll just take another pill until I figure out natural ways to help myself. And I rushed out of there. I didn't think about it. It was about to be Memorial Day weekend. I was a little worried because I'm like, I know my brain is gonna twirl it around. And I got curious. I said, okay, let's check out this dang parathyroidism. Let's see what it says. And, it's showing the different parts in your throat and this and that, this is that, this is that. And it shows you where the glands are. It's like two here. So technically, and while all this was going on, I'm also seeing a specialist, a neck and throat doctor, endocrinologist, I think it is. Anyway, so I'm seeing her. She's explaining to me like, oh, once a gland goes off the rockers, this is my words, not hers. But this is what I hear when people talk to me. So doctors don't talk like that. But she's like, yeah, once one goes off the hinges, we gotta, eventually operate. Now, if all the tests are coming out good, this was before the lump. I saw her before the lump. So she's like, all the tests are coming up positive or okay, good. So you technically don't have to rush and get the surgery because you're okay. Like if we do again next year, the scans, it's like 5 or 6 different tests, 2 blood works, 2 scans, and then I think an X-ray. So something like that. I know I've been at the hospital a lot more this year than I ever been. So she's like, we could wait until then, or we could set up an appointment for you to meet the surgical team. Let me know if you guys can hear me, because I know I have the fans going and I have, you probably can't write anymore. I don't know why. Maybe I need to get more followers for my feed to keep going, because it gets stuck after a while, I notice. Let me see how many comments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9. So, this wig is making me hot. But, so yeah, so I'm seeing her. So she's like, I said, yeah, I think it would be a good idea to just set it up. I want to meet the lady. If I prefer a lady. Meet the lady to talk to her about what the surgery looks like, what the recovery looks like. When does she think it would be necessary, or could I just wait? Because the neck and throat doctor was like, oh, some people can live with it for 50 years, some people. But I said, no, it's actually bothering me. Like, I am feeling like a balloon ready to pop, and I flash on people. If people, that's New York. That means I get mad very easily. Like my nerves are really, really thin. And people just like to tap, 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 tap on it. So, anyways, um, yeah, I was like, let me just meet with her just to ask questions and get comfortable with the idea that I might need this surgery eventually. But then after I meet with her, I have that last scan that they found the lump. So then I'm like, oh, well, I tell my doctor that, I tell the nurse that's checking my pressure and all that. I'm like, man, like, I haven't heard back from Fred Hutch. Like, that's a cancer place. So, of course, I'm thinking, like, could it be cancerous? Why is the doctor office there? So I'm like, the throat and neck doctor said, no, 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 it's not. It doesn't mean that it is cancerous. It just means that's just where her office is. She also has an office in other places. So I'm like, okay, I guess, okay. So, um, she gets it going. She's like, yep, I reached out to Fred. They're going to call you later on this week, da da da. So that was Monday. So, like, Tuesday or Wednesday, Fred calls me to set up an appointment. So they set it up for the 13th, which was yesterday, June 13th. So I'm like, okay, I didn't know that this was gonna be like a 3 hour appointment. Obviously, when they called me, they let me know then. Like they said, by the way, I love Princesses. Oh, this is a Coca-Cola one. But my favorite chapstick is let me see, I think I got it in here. My little pillow pocket. Yeah, you see. It's the princess. Let me see. Let's get it away from the flash. You guys see her? She's beautiful. It's a, well, you're not supposed to eat it or lick it, but it's my lips. So it's my lips, so I lick it if I want to. Lick it if I want to. Anyway, so focus. Um, So I'm ready to be there all day. I'm bringing like 2 water bottles. I'm bringing applesauce. I'm bringing bananas. I'm like, we are not going to sit around and let our stomach talk for us. Like, no. So, but they had water. They offer coffee. They offer apple juice. Very nice. Very, very nice. Fred Hutch really takes care of their patients. They're very, very clean. They have to be because people are going there with very compromised immune system. Um, so first of all, my neck and throat doctor, it's a little tiny little hottie. She's like Indian and something. Maybe she's just Indian. She's so cute. And I was shocked when she walked in because her name sounds like a older white male, So I was like, huh. I was kind of shocked when I saw her. I was like, good for you. Like I was so proud because I'm like, to be a doctor takes a lot of money to go to school and hard work. I don't know because I never been. But just regular college takes me out. So I could, and I've heard stories, even nurses, like nurses that want to specialize. I mean, it takes any of those, and it takes a lot of patience and, all that. So I was just like, wow, good for you. Now, let me tell you something. The surgeon that does, she had this deep, chocolate, rich skin that I wish I could have and the perfect silky hair. She was Indian too. And then she had these bright colors. I mean, she made me feel like I was going into an Indian wedding, like, you know, where they wear all them vibrant colors, and it's just like, I was just like, wow. And sometimes, you know, people say, we listen and we don't judge. Well, I don't listen, and I judge. So if somebody's ugly or stinky, my face might tell it. My mouth shuts up for that. I sometimes, but if somebody's pretty or beautiful or handsome or whatever, I can't help myself. I'd be like, wow, you know. I mean, handsome. I don't know. If I have a man or whatever, yeah, I'm respectful. But she was so like she just. I was surprised. I was surprised, and she looked very clean, very neat. Cause you know, some people kind of scary that they do the jobs that they do and they're sloppy. Like when I got my iron infusion, I had to report. My cat be busting in my room. She just headbutts the door and opens the door. Come in, Cola. Since you busted in, you might as well come in. While she's listening, she's like, oh, I guess she didn't want me to know she was busting in. I hear you. Do you need help? You need help, Cola? Oh, you know what? She probably wants some wet food. That's what she wants. And she knows I'm the weak link. I'm the weakest link. She knows that she could give me those googly eyes. And I'll be like, okay, Cola, you want some wet wet? That's what we call it, wet wet. I try to make cutesy names for everything I do for her. So like, oh, she knocking like she's a human being. Maybe she was knocking with her head. She finally got in. I have the bag, the garbage bag full of recycling that we have to take. Not recycling, oh my God, donation. My goal is, I mean, I feel like I gave away like half of our stuff, but we still have a lot of stuff. And my kids, they'll be like, oh no, I got that rock at this lake. And I'm like, are you gonna paint it? Are you gonna, like, my oldest keeps collecting like walking sticks. These huge sticks, sword looking sticks. And yeah, they're cool, but it's like, okay, are you gonna hang them up? Are you gonna paint them? Like, what are we doing? Like, are you gonna fight? Hi, baby. I'm talking to the phone. She's looking at me like, what is this crazy lady doing? But yeah, and then the little one would be like, oh, you know, the oldest between sticks that he finds that look like it could be something, like it could be a walking stick, it could be a sword, it could be this or that, and bottle caps, whether it's plastic or metal. Then he's like, well, eventually there's not going to be no metal, so then we can melt it and make something. Yeah, okay, I get where you're going with it, but it's like you just like find a way to condense it to a space, like get a little box and make that your little oh my God. And then the little one would be like, oh, this pen, you know, like he has a jar in his room and it was just supposed to be the pen that he uses. That thing is so overpowered, he just keeps jamming stuff, and it's like, Papa, we have plenty of new pencils. Every year we get new pencils, new pen. You don't, you know, have you tried any of them to see if they work? Like, or this, he'll write little things, or his friends will write little notes. Then I'll find papers flying everywhere when I'm trying to clean. The vacuum blows air and it flies. And I'm like, what is this? it's just a little star or something, or a number, or a name. And I'm like, D, what is this? Oh, that's very special to me. Very special. Well, it's just sitting on top of your computer desk. It's not labeled. It's not in a folder. Like, oh, so I don't know. They're gonna have to learn on their own when they live on their own. That all that like clutter. Ugh. Anyway, so focus. Um, So I was saying that, okay, so now I met with the beautiful, they're both very beautiful and very young. I'm like, how did you complete being a doctor? Like, usually, isn't it like 12, 30? I don't know. I don't know. But either way, I was just very impressed and I felt like I was part of their family. And I was like, I'm so proud of you. I'm just so proud of you. In my head, I did kind of tell him, like, wow, that's amazing that you accomplished at this young age, this huge goal. And I was like, oh, I hope the surgeon didn't think I was gay, because I was just so blown. Her skin was so, like, it was a different type of brown. Like, I don't think I ever seen that chocolatey, that riches, like just smooth. I was like, oh my God, what I would give to have that skin. I don't understand why dark people have an issue with their skin. I think it's so beautiful. Like, I always used to tell my oldest when he was struggling with self-image and skin, I don't know what it's called, but he used to not like that. He thought he was the only brown skinned person around him. And I looked around, I was like, oh dang. I guess he has a reason to feel that way, because yeah, his dad is brown, not as dark as he was. And but I was like, well, look at your uncle. Your uncle is dark like you. And he's like, yeah, but comparing to everybody, when I go to school, I'm sometimes the darkest one in my class. When I, holidays, when I'm in Christmas, like, I'm the only black kid. Yeah, there's mixed cousins, but I'm like the blackest, or I just feel like I don't belong. So I just feel so bad, like, and then to think that light skinned people feel confident because they're light skinned, or they got this type of hair or that type of hair, like, it's not true. Sometimes it's the opposite, like, you know. So, I mean, I was not jealous growing up, like, but I did feel like there is benefit. And I hope that people feel that. Like, if you have browner skin, I hope you know that with everything you hear online about it, and the melon and all the stuff that we're learning about it, I didn't know that back then. I just admired it. I just loved it. And then, of course, when I had my son and he was darker, I was like, look at you. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. Something about brown skin. It's just beautiful to me. So many different shades. And especially when it gets to the rich tones, it's like, ooh, how did you get that? It's almost like I want to know the recipe. But anyways, focus. So she starts talking about, she explains what she does and how she does it. And she's asking me, what are my symptoms and all that good stuff. And um, I tell her, but there's not a lot of time in between when I'm talking. And then I'm also like, between the perimenopausal and the thyroid stuff, so there's three things of thyroid stuff. It all affects your hormones, which all affects your moods. It affects your moods, and like, you get brain fog. So sometimes you forget stuff. And So that's one of the reasons that I wanted to get my story out, because when I got sick, I thought to myself, oh my God, what if one day I'm not here, and then everybody goes on thinking what they're thinking. Like, I want to get my side out before I forget. I didn't know. I actually didn't even know that I remember that much of my childhood, because I would, like, when telling the stories of my childhood, like, not the teenage ones, but the childhood, I could actually, like, taste the food and smell the smells. Not everybody smell, but like I could actually smell my mom. I can't describe it, and I probably will never be able, if she did wear perfume or wash herself with something, I probably won't ever know what it is, but I could actually smell it. I could actually, like, see the outfits and, like, see the facial expressions. Even if I was looking this way, somehow when I was telling my story, like, I could see you know, like, two or three different people's facial expression. It was really weird to, when I was telling my story, when I was in the DR and when I first got to New York, how that happened. It was kind of scary. Like, I would get off from doing the stories and I would be sweating. And I'm like, oh my God, why? I mean, that's also the perimenopause. But it was such a draining experience. Like, it's almost like it wasn't me. I just opened my mouth and it just kind of came out. So it was kind of scary to look back. And I think that's one of the biggest reason why when I thought I was healed and I thought, hey, I'm not going to be mad. Like, I did the videos also so my kids can know my story. But I listened to one of the videos that was one of the hardest videos for me to do. It was number 9 when it was up. Now number 9 is different, but um yeah, that was, I was like, there's no way. They don't need to hear this. And, because I was really, really mad. Like, I was really hurt. I was really mad. And I was just on a F you type of thing on some of the videos. Because a lot of people hurt me, and it feels like they got away with it. Anyways, focus, John. Focus. Focus. So she was telling me all the stuff, but the thing that I regret is, and I told myself I was going to record it, and so that way I can go back and listen, and if I forgot this or that, I can bring it up. I was so nervous because I thought she was just going to tell me, yep, we got to operate next week, da 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 da. But she was doing the opposite. She was like, well, since your symptoms don't seem that severe, and this is not cancerous, you don't have to worry about that, but you will get the other scan, and then if I can't see what I need to see, then I'll order, she told me the name of the other scan, I don't remember, another scan, and then we'll talk again. We'll maybe check in over the phone, or you come in, whatever you're comfortable with, and then you can decide what you want to do. But we can actually wait. But I was okay with her telling me that up to that point. But then she's like, well, if you do wait, have you had any kidney stones? Have you had any damage to your liver? Have you had any sprains or breaks in your bones? And I'm like, no, no, no. She's like, well, yeah, if, maybe we'll wait for one of the tests to come and set an alarm, and then we can set a date then. But yeah, this having too much calcium will actually do the opposite for your bones because the signals are telling whatever deposits the calcium where it needs to go that, oh, no, no, thank you, we got enough calcium, no, thank you. And then it's just like floating around, building up, building up, building up while your bones are being sucked, 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 dried of calcium. So you can break your bones, you can have kidney stones, you can have damage to your kidney and liver. So I'm like, okay, so you're telling me to wait for something to go wrong before you can say like, oh yeah, let's do it. Like, then I'll have to have an emergency surgery. That's what you're telling me? She's like, well, yeah, I just feel, like some people live with it for a long time, nothing happens. I said, well, I don't like this 1 out of 100, 1 out of 1,000. I'm always that one. So I'm not gonna wait for it to happen. Whether it's any of those three, they sound horrible. So sign me up, doctor. Like, put me on the schedule. And I'm thinking, because surgeons are usually booked like 3, 4, 5 months, even a year ahead. They're booked. She was like, okay, so how does the end of August sound? I said, what? Whoa, 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 what? I didn't want to overreact because my son was there, my oldest. But I was like, I was like, she's like, "Oh, it's okay if you want to wait." I said, no, but then I would have to go through this whole process again of doing all these scans and all this stuff. And then on top of that, I could fall. I could break a bone. I could get kidney stones, my livers. And I was like, I guess it's better to get it out the way. Just get it out the way. Now, I did talk to my youngest son's mentor. He's had it done. He actually had two two glands that were acting up, but his thyroid was cancerous. So he got the cancer out and left the other thing in, thinking like, oh, it'll just shrink, it'll be okay, whatever, whatever. Well, it didn't get better. It got worse. So they had to go in again and cut and like get it out. I was like, nope. And then I talked to a friend from, we used to go to camp together, and she just had it done and she's now healing from it. And she said, the only thing she wishes she would have done is stay the night, but she does live further out. So, but other than that, she's like, I don't regret it. It's, I'm recovering. It's fine. It's not that bad. It just, it sounds scary because it's a surgery and this and that. So I'm like, okay, I could do this. And then when the doctor was explaining it, it kind of sounds like the same thing as a C-section, except, I mean, yeah, it's a little bit, well, I don't want to say more scary because C-sections are scary too. But, you have your nerves that goes to your vocal cords. And so I did ask, I was like, okay, I'm reading in these books, in these groups, thyroid and all this other, I think I'm in like 5 different thyroid groups. There's so many different parts that, hypothyroid, hyper, this and that, da, Hamosh. I'm like, what? There's so many different little things that affect you similar, but then it's different. Some of them are worse than others. So, then I'm also thinking, like, I hear people sometimes just take the whole damn thyroid out. Why not just take the whole thyroid out and deal with the but then the thing is with that is if you take the thyroid out, then you have to take synthetics the rest of your life because obviously you still need that part of your body to produce some of the stuff to help your body. So the downside to it is that if they take the thyroid that they think is bad or that looks inflamed, and then another, or if they take the glands, it's the glands, not the thyroid. If they take the glands, because you have four, they could take up to 3.5, and you still would be good. Like as long as that half works, everything goes back to normal. She explained that once she takes the glands out, they do a test while I'm still under. They do a test 10 minutes later and they should see the calcium drop. And that's a good thing. Now, the scary part is that if I come home and the calcium drops too much, I go from having too much calcium, I could go to having not enough calcium. And then if you feel the heart palpitating, and you can go into having a seizure. And so, you know, it's a little scary, but the benefit outweigh the bad things, I think. And I even begged my ex to come hold my hand. Like, I was like, oh my God, I wish, you could just come and, cause I want like somebody to hold my hand. And I hate this because I get this with HIV. It's like, oh, you've been living so long, you're okay. Even when I'm sick, the only one that knows how bad it gets, it's my oldest son, because he's here every day. When he's working, he's here. He sees when I'm like, really, really sore and in pain, and I can't get out of bed. I have to roll out of bed. Like it's a lot of situation happening the last 5 years. Like it's really breaking me down. And no matter how confident, like I'm like, okay, today I'm gonna paint my nails. I went swimming the other day, but because I had to share the lane with somebody, and the place that I'm going to is really, really, the pool is not that big. So I was trying to do backstrokes. I was by the wall, and I was trying to stay away from his lane because I do this when I swim because I try to swim under. I don't wear goggles, so I don't see where I'm going. I just go. And I end up on his lane, and I was like, okay, I gotta stay. I'm in my lane, stay. So I was trying really hard, so I kept banging, like I banged against the wall on my shoulder a few times, and I just been so sore. And then I actually sleep like this with the pillows, so sometimes that, anyway, so that's something I'm dealing with. But yeah, so that's what's been going on. I even though a lot of things make me mad or people, I really do try to stay positive and just try to laugh about things and try to focus on like what can I do today to feel better, or to um I don't know, to have a better day. I definitely don't want to be Debbie Downer. I don't want my kids to worry. So I do a lot of keeping it, holding it in. Like there's times that I can't help it. My son sees me because he is the one here taking care of me right now. Um, so unfortunately, I do have to call on him sometimes, like, hey, can you help me? But other than that, like with my little one or other people, I really try, even if I'm walking and it hurts. I really try to just play it off. Or when the vertigo comes in and I'm dizzy, I just try to play like I'm dancing or whatever, you know. And I try to keep pushing myself. But after this, like, I just, I don't know, like, I really just want to go somewhere and rest. Like, I need a vacation. I was supposed to go for my birthday. Then, like, Florida got hit with two hurricanes. So I put my ticket on pause. Then I was going to go for Mother's Day. And then they were like, well, we need you to do these scans and da da da. So I was like, okay. And I did the scan and I was too depressed to think about going anywhere. So I didn't. Because I could have. I mean, the test was done on the 19th. I still could have. It was too expensive to get it for the Mother's Day weekend. So I knew it was going to be either after or before. Um, but yeah, I still had the credit, and it's like, I feel like that would give me a little oomph if I just go get some sun. But right now it's so hot, and the ticket expires, or the credit expires in August, and I know right now Florida is burning up. So I'll be outside for 2 seconds with my hot flashes and my mood swings, and the way I get hungry and cranky at the same time. I'm like, I need a pool and an umbrella by the pool, and like a platter of food next to me. Maybe somebody feeding it to me, feeding me grapes. That would be my vacation, like having two bodyguards feeding me grapes and, salami and fried cheese. Los tres golpes, or like having some really good mango. Because for some reason, it's so simple. Smashed plantains with this and that in it. It's so simple. But for some reason, mine does never. I don't think the plantains here on the West Coast are the same as the East Coast. I don't think they're the same at all. Yeah, when I smash them, it's not the right consistency. It's either chunky or like too runny, and I can't get the flavor right. So I definitely need to take my time, look for a good recipe, and follow it. Because I'm so bad. I'm so stubborn. Like sometimes I'm like, Joanna, really? You're so stubborn that you don't even want to follow a recipe because you're like, don't tell me what to do. That's what the recipe's there to do, to help you. Like, so I think that that's my problem with the recipe. It's like, no, I got it. I knew what to do. But yeah, I've been craving some, and then like some Indian veggie uh, rice stuff. I've been craving that. That's the other thing. Menopause or perimenopausal, I heard menopause too, makes you crave like you're pregnant. You be craving stuff. And then it's like until you get it, like I was craving a torta for a month. And I just got, after my appointment, I told my son, I said, I know we're trying to save money and all that, but I need my torta. Like if we pass a truck, hopefully he has the right type of bread, because some of them try to cheat and do that weird hokey bread. Like, nah, I need that round, juicy bread, toasted on the grill. Like I need it done right. And let me tell you, that torta hit the spot. Now the molita or whatever it's called, no. He cheated. He used, instead of the doughy stuff that the one in Tequila used to use, he used regular tortilla, like corn tortillas, and like regular cheese. I'm like, no, it's supposed to have a whole bunch of white cheese and Mexican cheese. And something else that they put in there. I never try to make one, but at least the torta was huge. It was like two sandwiches from what we used to get in Tequila. So I was happy with that, but then I was like, my stomach reminded me, like, don't remember, we got two more cravings to go. I don't know if you guys feel that, like, if you, do guys go through that? Like, I'm just curious, like, all this stuff that women go through. And yes, they claim because Eve ate that. I'm starting not to believe a lot of the stuff in the Bible. Like, when the more that I read, and it's not just because I'm a woman and I'm like, F this sound, it just sounds wrong. It just sounds like a man decided, let's just make the female. Now that I see everything being shut down, like, oh, you know, women can decide for their body. And at first I was like, well, what's wrong with that if they tell you that it's against the law to have an abortion? Because I know a couple of females that would have abortion like it was nothing. Like, I'm like, that's cold. You done had 8 abortions and still had a kid afterwards. Like, that is selfish. That is wrong. And like, who knows what it's doing to the inside of your body. So I'm curious how they're doing now, because this was a long time ago. So I'm like, if I'm going through all these hormonal stuff and I didn't have all that going on, like, I wonder if that affects their body in that way too. Like, do they get hormonal faster? Do they feel like their bladder is about to fall out? Like, because that cannot be good for your body to have that many, and just by choice. Like, I understand if somebody was, if somebody abused somebody, somebody took somebody, and then you just didn't want to be reminded of that situation, and you're like, no, I can't deal with, people say, oh, put them up for adoption. There's so many kids being mistreated in foster care and adoption. They're being sold for other stuff that's wrong. So I would understand. Like, I actually had the thought once or twice. I had the thought. Actually, I had the thought about, more than that. But because throughout the months of pregnancy, or even before you're pregnant, you think, like, would I be okay with this? And I was like, well, if it's the wrong person and they try to trick me, then yeah, like, I didn't want to be tricked. Like, I wanted to choose to be a mother, and I wanted to make sure that the person that I was choosing to be a mother with is a kind human being, and a capable father, and this and that. But so I'm not so against it that I was just like, oh my God. But I do see the trickery. It's only put in poor neighborhoods and this and that, or neighborhoods that might have more Hispanics and blacks. So yeah, like, it is an agenda. But then when they started talking about, like, you'll go to jail, like, they have somebody hooked onto machines because she's pregnant, but she's actually not here anymore. Like, that's weird. And it just feels like it's men just trying to dominate and try. Not all men, don't get offended. If you're a man on here and you're not like that, don't get offended. I'm just saying, the men in power, the governors and presidents and whoever else is up there. I just feel like, where's the end goal? Like, So it's making me think back to where women didn't have a say so, where women had to let their husband speak for them. And even when I came to Seattle, like that's how the church that I was going to was, as far as like, don't get me wrong, there was some Filipino ladies that they would be, and my grandma Sarah, was very mouthy. But while we were in service, and I didn't know this at first until I spoke and I got told not to do that again. Even when, oh, does anybody have anything to share with the church? You know, something that happened, something happy, something, gosh, whatever. Something that affected you and made you thankful to be, part of the family and God showed up for you. And I was like, oh, I got something. And it was actually about the church, I think. I was just saying, oh, I think I was saying I was grateful to be part of such a loving community. I spoke too freaking soon because that day or that week, I think they told Mike to tell me, which that's a bad idea. They should have told everyone to tell me. Um, but either way, when he told me, I was like, what? So not only do they have to wear these little covered things that make no sense, because I'm like, not everybody here is Jewish. Like it was so confusing to me. Like, and then I'm thinking to myself, am I in a cult? Because the way that my foster dad was trying to control who I spoke to, when I spoke to them, what I said, and when they were gonna play games, family games, and this, and it's like it didn't feel like fun. It didn't feel like community anymore. It felt a little controlling. And then I looked around and I'm like, there is a lot of like older ladies. They all wear these Amish looking clothes, these dresses. I don't think at that time women could wear pants at the church. I don't remember if I did, because I probably wear like dressy pants. I don't remember, but I do remember the couple of ladies that I do remember. They always had like these Amish looking clothes. It's like, am I in a cult? Did I move from New York to join a cult in Seattle? I don't know nobody. It's already raining and weird. Like seeing all these people, this hippie people with long stringy hair on the street just dancing with their guitar. Like we don't see that in, like I didn't see that in New York. I lived in an area that it was mainly all Dominicans, all Hispanic. So you hear people outside, but they're playing merengue, bachata, all that stuff, and they're singing, dancing, playing dominoes, whatever. It was a whole culture shock and just a switch, like just like when I went from the DR to New York, it was like, phew. And the one thing that I do wish, because I wonder if that's why I became like paranoid. I think I became paranoid when I got to New York. I don't know if I had dyslexia then. I don't know. Because I don't remember having none of those issues in the DR. I was free. I was free like a bird in the DR. I was able to be outside with my friends until the sun went down. In the DR, that's a long time. And then I got up, went to school. It was like normal. Then I got to New York and I was sleeping on the floor, on a mattress. I was going to school, being forced to learn a new language. And like, nobody like sits you down. Even when I came to Seattle, like my foster parents just expected me to just fall in line. Nobody said like, "Oh, how are you feeling? How are you liking?" I mean, they would talk to me about the babies coming. Like she had a 3-year old, a 2 or 1 year old, and then she was pregnant with twins. She was just popping babies like a cat, like litters, like. But now I'm glad because they're all they're really close, and they all get along, and I was like, okay, I see why you did it like that. But to me, it just looked crazy. Like you having another kid, and now it's twins. What? You already have two little ones that she always looked. I felt so bad, especially when we were unpacking. She just looked so flustered and like just overwhelmed. I do remember that. And I felt bad. Like I thought maybe I could have helped more. I was going to school full time, high school, and then I was working. I cleaned the church on the weekend. So I had two jobs and I was going to high school, and then I had a boyfriend and two friends to keep up with. So I had a lot going on. So I didn't want to be home that much because I just didn't understand life in Seattle. I didn't understand. I think I loved when we lived with my grandpa and my grandma. I was next door. I was in the room next to them upstairs. They were downstairs. We only saw each other at dinner time. I didn't have to hear Mike's mouth because his dad was on him about getting a job. So I would secretly be laughing like, yeah, tell him, tell him, tell him. He's a lazy one. Tell him he's a lazy one. But yeah, so I just always wonder like when did I develop, or why? Is there a reason that I developed? And I think I even have ADHD because I don't know. I don't know. I think I do. I haven't been diagnosed with that, but I was diagnosed with dyslexia. So I wonder, if any of those events caused it, or did I already have it and I just didn't know it? Um, who knows? Who knows? But as far as my health, you guys, if you do pray, hey, oh, I guess you do. You can put new messages. Hey, Mel Mel. Um, you can never bring yourself to do what? Oh, how many times you've been pregnant? Oh, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, like I mean, I'm sure we were both scared. We lived in Harrington House. We share our fears. We were wondering if we could do it when we had the one pregnancy. It's scary. Everybody's scared. Everybody thinks like, dang, am I gonna be a good mom? Am I gonna be a good dad? Da, da, da. That's normal. Um, and the sad part was that when I went to Spain before my first son was born, I was pregnant 3 weeks, and then 6 weeks. And so 3 weeks after I got there, I thought I was losing the baby naturally because I was like, oh my God, what is this? I told my mom. She's like, oh, we got to take you in, da da da. She was very weird with the doctors, like trying to talk to them without my aunt there or my sister, because everybody spoke Catalan. They spoke Catalan. They didn't speak English. They didn't speak Spanish, or they spoke French. So by that time, my sister knew 3 languages and was learning two more. Like Spain, Europe don't play. Like at her school, she had to learn 5 languages. I think that was the thing, or maybe she was doing it because she wanted to. But I remember her telling me that, yeah, I'm working on learning English and I'm learning this. I forgot what was the other language she was trying to learn. Um, but at the hospital, my mom took me. They didn't speak Spanish, so I didn't understand what they were telling me. So I was depending on her to translate, and she kept trying to be secretive with them, like don't talk. I need to be in the. Little did I know, she was not only giving me horse. I don't know what they're called. It's like pills for horses to go into labor, and claiming that it was a vitamin. All the pills were in bottles and they looked like vitamins, and they were in another language. They were like in Catalan. So I was trusting her. She kept giving me these 2 extra pills or 3 extra pills. She's like, oh, they're all vitamins, good for the baby, good for your health. And I was feeling great while I was in Spain. The air is so much cleaner. The bread tastes so good. Oh my God, the bread. Oh, bread and cheese. You could have that all day there and you don't gain weight. And I even tried the McDonald's. I was like, what is this? And I think somebody that was with me, either my brother or they're like, oh, we use real meat here. We don't use chemicals. Maybe it was my aunt that told me. She's like, yeah, everything is grass fed and, you know, killed on site, done on site. So that's why you probably are taste, you miss the chemicals that you have in the US. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, I actually couldn't eat meat for the first maybe month that I was there. Maybe it was less than that. Maybe it was like 3 weeks. Definitely not red meat. Red meat tasted so different. Chicken, it tasted a little bit, you know, more normal because of the seasoning. You couldn't taste it as strong. Um, and especially if my aunt cooked Dominican stuff, I was eating that. You know. But yeah, the red meat, I was like, I can't do it. Like, but then you get used to it. I was there for 3 months. And I just remember my mom being super duper nervous. Like, and I was asking my aunt, like, what's wrong with her? Why? What is she saying? What is she doing? And my aunt was like, well, I was trying not to, act like I wasn't listening, but listening when the door was cracked and she was telling the surgeon, I think she was trying to get your tubes tied. So the surgeon wouldn't do it because thank God I didn't meet my mom before I was 18. This lady would have had my tubes tied, would have had me have forced abortions, or I don't know what it's called when you take a pill to go into labor when you're not in labor. I don't know what that pill is called, but yeah, she was trying to force the doctor to give me a lactation or whatever it's called. Tie my tubes, tie and burn, so I couldn't have kids ever. And when I found that out, between her man trying to watch porn with me, saying it's nothing, and her doing that, when I found that out, I was at my aunt's house. She said, "Yeah, I took the pills, or one of the pills that you gave me, to the lab because they both worked at a hospital, to the pharmacy, and I asked, for a favor, and they said, yeah, that's what you give horses to have their babies, like." And I took that crap. My body held on to that baby for dear life for 3 weeks. When I talked to my doctor in the USA when I came back, she was like, your whole body is stubborn. I'm convinced you are just stubborn to the bone, because to have somebody take that, like in a day, you could have, and not only you would lose the baby, but you can also lose your life. And you took it for 3 weeks. Like, whoa. So I was like, that's unforgivable. So when I had my son, of course, I didn't want nothing to do with my mom. Like, I was like, you are never going to meet your first grandson. You can forget about it, blah, blah. And 3 years later, my son started asking for family. So I had to call my foster family and talk to my foster mom. And then I don't know how I got in contact with her. Maybe I asked my aunt for her number. And she was all in. She was like, oh my God, my grandbaby. She's sending them letters, sending them cards, sending them special, um, like little socks and stuff. I still have those little socks. I showed it the other day. But anyways, long story short, when I had to get the rest of it wasn't a baby anymore, it was a blood clots. When I had to get the rest of it removed, because it can actually, like, if blood clots stays in your body, it can give you an infections and it can go up to your heart. So it's very dangerous. So they had to suck out the rest of it. And that was so uncomfortable. And I was like, how do people do this? Like, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel naive because I actually didn't know that that was the same thing as an abortion. Like, that's what they do. And I was like, because I kept saying, I would never, I would never. And then either somebody brought it to my attention or I researched it. And I was like, oh my God. So I actually was forced to have an abortion because of my mom. I repented. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, God, even though it wasn't my fault. And to go through that 1, 2, 3 times just out of hobby, like, what? And Hot Girl Summer Crab, they make it seem like it's a cool thing. Like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm not having no kid when I'm not ready. But yet they're having unprotected sex. They're having 12 different partners in a month. Like, it's like, okay, that's not fair. Like, I understand that extreme. But now they're talking about if you have health issues or if a doctor performs an emergency one like I had, they would go to jail. So then they prefer you both to die, I guess. The mom and the kid, because it's like if it doesn't come out naturally, and sometimes it all doesn't come out. But like there's already the placenta that's forming and everything else that's forming. It takes time, and it all comes out in like blood clots because it's small at that time. But I'm thinking, what if you're like 4, 5, 6 months pregnant and you lose that pregnancy? It's like, then what? But so yeah, the way that things are going now, it's really making me feel like some of the things, like, okay, so I have one that I keep thinking about. Jesus walked around with a prostitute and they became besties. And people were smoking weed and all that stuff because it grows on earth or whatever. They were drinking wine. They probably got drunk. Da, da, da. If the if we're like if we were made in His image and we get the urge, the sexual healing, and they say God was perfect, Jesus was perfect because Jesus was, but He was in the flesh. You mean to tell me a professional that's washing you down with, oh, let me wash you down with oils and myrrh and this and that. Let me put this and that on your feet. And you feeling good, you relaxing, you drinking wine, da, 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 da. Should I really believe that nothing happened? Not ever, not never. And Abraham had all the kids, but he wasn't considered a hoe. It's just like, okay, maybe we need a urban Bible, like to tell the stories in that way, because it's like, now I'll never not believe in God. I do believe he has gotten me through a lot. I definitely feel his presence. But the Bible, I think from the time I got kicked out at 17, from then on, I questioned a lot of stuff in the Bible. And I almost feel like, why is it not right for you to believe in astrology? And like, my grandfather used to heal people, used to help people, used to tell fortune, like, or not, well, I think sometimes too, but I remember the most that I remember about him when people used to come see him, um, it was to say like, oh, am I having a girl or boy? Like, he could predict that. And I'm not sure if he used to call on the spirits. I think he did. But the Bible teaches, oh, that's all voodoo, that's all this and that. But voodoo helped so many countries get out of slavery, get out of false ownership. Haiti, for one, the main one. So if we were creative in his image and we know these things and we feel like our ancestors tell us stuff, and I'm starting to believe that you could believe in God and also have this and that, and it's not evil. Like, why did the Bible and why Christians make everything so evil, and Catholics make you feel so guilty? Everything, feel bad, confess, 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 confess. Meanwhile, you hear about priests sexually assaulting all these babies, 6 years old, 7 year olds, 10 year olds. It's like, but then people be like, well, we're all in the flesh, we're not perfect. It's like, okay, so that's the excuse. But then you want me to believe that the woman was the only one that was tempted by the snake. There was a garden, that she wasn't supposed to touch that apple. But if God is all knowing and he knew what was going to happen, so why, this had to happen if that's true. So that whole thing doesn't make sense at all. Like, and people could explain, they could give me 10 different Bible verses. I'm stubborn. I don't believe it. Like, I don't believe it. I don't believe that we're being punished because he ate that apple. Because I know guys go through their own things. Guys just don't talk about it because it's embarrassing or whatever. But it's like, I would be so curious to find out, like, what all do you guys go through? Because share the freaking stories, because we be blabbering on, and it's like, we cannot be the only ones suffering. This is hell on earth. So what are you got? Because you going through something. After 40, you definitely going through something. Teenage years, you definitely go through something. Like, how hard is that, to control your urges and this and that, da da da. Like, I wish that guys felt more comfortable telling what goes on with them so we don't feel all alone. And the struggle, like, I don't want to be alone. And not only that, like, then the guy could have 5 kids. It's like, wow, Oh, wow, you had your kid this weekend? Oh, you're such a great dad. Let that woman have 5 kids with that man, and that woman walk around with, oh wow, she's a oof, she's loose. We don't want her. She's damaged goods. Da, da, da. Meanwhile, she's the one at the freaking school meetings. She's the one at the this, that, that, the doctor's visit, this and that, cooking, cleaning, working, da 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 da. But we don't get the credit. We don't get the credit because daddy had the kids for a weekend. He's a great dad, but she's loose. So I just hate the double standard. I hate that men made it seem like and made us feel that way at a certain point, and it just does not go away. The men that think that way raise men that think that way, raise men that think that way. And they say, oh, a woman can't teach a man how to be a man. Well, if the punk left you, you have no choice but to try, right? And guess what? My kids aren't going to do that to a woman. They're not going to be womanizer. They're not going to be woman beater. They're not going to be deadbeats. They're not going to be like, oh, honey, I lost my job. And 6 months later, still bumming around the house. They're not going to do none of that. None of that. Guess who's teaching them? A woman. A woman is teaching them. So, like, get out of here with all that crap. Like, I'm celebrating Father's Day too. Father's Day, people get so annoyed. You're not a father. You're not a father. Well, guess what? I had to do fatherly duties too. There was nobody to take out the garbage. I took out the fucking garbage. I cut the lawn. I did this. I did that. I fixed the bikes. I taught him how to ride the bikes. Well, the little one. My foster dad had to because he doesn't want me to teach him nothing. But as far as manners and this and that, I did that. Open the door, this and that. Treat a lady right. I did that. So I'm celebrating Father's Day too. I'm putting on a freaking tie, and I don't care who doesn't like it. Who don't like it, they can go kiss the culo. Anyways, it's not that hard. It's not that tough. But either way, yeah. So that's what's going on with the health. Oh Lordy. That's what I was supposed to just talk about that. That's it. I was just talking about that. That's it. Oh, I was gonna try to do the background today. I forgot. Let's see. Oh, it's not showing me. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I gotta said it's okay to do nothing. Ooh. Yeah, I got that. But the other phone had where you could choose. Hold on. I'm almost done, sweetie. The other phone had where you could do like more than just your photos. So I'll figure it out. I guess I'll have to save. Um, I'll have to save different cute backgrounds and make it do what it do and see if I can do that more often. Or do you guys like to see my natural background? I don't. But anyways, you see that's that. If you do that a lot for no reason, get your thyroid checked. I've been doing that for a year and I didn't even know that that was part of it. So wish me luck, guys. I'll definitely get on here before, if not a couple of times before that happens, at least once, let you know, about the date that might happen. And then afterwards, I don't know. I don't know. because I would be scared to talk after that. I know that for 6 weeks, my throat area is going to be a little sensitive, and I need to rest, make sure that everything goes back to normal, falls back into place. So, yeah, but I mean, it's only June, so I'll definitely do at least 2 more videos for July. Just kind of telling you guys what's going on. Maybe I'll get back to the book and see where I'm at in the stories and see what I was supposed to be talking about. Because I do have some more titles left in the book that I wrote, all the different titles. It's funny, I wrote some titles down, but then when I did the video, I'm like, nah, this sounds better. So I never wrote the same titles that I wrote on the book. So I can't even tell myself what to do. I'd be like, nah, God made me this way for some reason, and somebody's gonna like it, I guess. I guess it's helpful when you have to stand up for yourself or for your kids. Or I seem to fight for everybody, and sometimes I'm like, I need to reserve that energy for me. Anyways, have a good one. Before I go, subscribe, um, like, share if you care. I don't think anybody ever shares, but I know you guys care because you keep showing up. So I know, it's you shy. It's okay. It's okay. But just, you guys got me to 300. I was so excited. I was ready to do a little dance party, like my birthday. But, oh, you don't want your haircut? Oh, it's too late? I'm getting off. Yeah, we can do it tomorrow after church. Okay, so my kids are so good. They are on autopilot. They know what to do, when to do, what to do. And even my cat, she got with the program real quick. So, but anyways, yeah, share if you care, like the video, and say a little prayer for me. Together forever. Anyways, just a little scared. And okay, one last thing though. After I started telling the couple of people, the few people that I told about this, that it wasn't cancerous, they're like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. It's like, okay, I'm still scared. Like, it's still bad. It's still surgery. Like, still stuff could happen. But, I know they're trying to think positive and this and that, but it feels like unsupportive. Unsupportive comments. Now, the first person that I told about my appointment, he he wasn't saying it like that. Like, okay, so I was like, okay, we actually talked it out, um, and I did feel support from him. But the rest of them, it's like, dang. Some people liked the comment when I left them a text, whether it was Facebook or. I was like, okay, you get a thumbs up. Okay. So I was like, okay, I know not to tell you shit no more. I know that some people, I came out of nowhere because I was just scared. I was like, oh my God, if something happens to me, this person might miss me. But then when that thumbs up goes, I was like, oh damn, I guess they won't. I guess they're probably like thinking, what the hell is she telling me for? I don't care. Like, we haven't been friends for a long time. So I was like, you really find out who is your friend. Like, I know Mel Mel is, I know Kathy is, I know my ex is, we're trying to be friends, and I know my son's dad is, and They really care. Like, it's not just like fake care, like, oh, and a couple of people from the church. And I was actually surprised, like, one of my foster sisters. Okay, this is the last time you guys see this wig, by the way. I might get it again, but this one is like, I don't fluff it too much. I don't mess with it too much. And it does not, like the curls, you see. Anyways, yeah, it's done. It's done. Because I try to act like it's real hair. And I put cream on. I put shampoo. Not shampoo. Conditioner. And then the conditioner, once you rinse it out, the synthetic hair gets weird. So it was cute for a couple of, I actually wore it for a couple of years. So it's, for 20 something dollars, it's pretty good to have a hairstyle off and on. I just threw away my favorite wig, which my ex would probably be jumping for joy because he hated that wig. But it was the most comfortable wig. It felt like easy peasy, put it on. Hair wasn't all over my face, all over flying. But yeah, when I was at the doctor's visit, I was like, because I didn't want to pull it back in front of her. But the bangs needed to be curled, but it's synthetic hair, so you can't really curl it. There is a way to do it. I think you have to put a curler and let it sit on a head. I don't have a foam head. I think I'm going to get a couple of foam heads. So if I do have to do a couple of, fixes on a wig, I could do it. But either way, I was saying goodbye, right? So let me say goodbye. All right. And I promise, well, the thing is, you guys are going to miss me because I'm not going to be able to talk for like months after I have that done. So August, well, the end of August, September, maybe even October, you guys are going to be like, where is Joa? Where is Joa? I miss. But you know what? You can just watch my old videos. You can subscribe whenever you find my videos. If you're not subscribed, you can always like. You can always comment. And then I'm going to be keeping up. And then if you guys make me laugh, laughter heals. So if you don't do anything else, if you don't pray for me, you can make me laugh and you can help me heal. So you could do your part too. So anyways, have a good night or good day, whenever you see this. All right. Boop, boop, boop. Toodles, 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 toodles. Toodle, toodle. Toodle, 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 toodle.